Coming to you live and direct from Geneva, Alabama, in the state of dreams, or if you're an immigrant, nightmares. I have some things I want to get off my chest. First off, I was thinking about last Tuesday's segment of The View, when Bill Maher was the guest and how Elizabeth Hasselbeck came at him sideways. Truly messed up and in poor form. First off, Bill Maher's stick is that he's snide. That's his best trait. But with the snideness, there is a bit of righteousness there. Secondly, Elizabeth made herself look like a victim and did herself a great disservice. And a great disrespect to Lara Logan when she calls herself trying to have her back. Here's the difference between Lara and Elizabeth. Lara risked her life this past January when the Arab uprising spread, starting through Egypt. She nearly lost her life doing that. That woman gets props. Elizabeth's claim to fame was being on Survivor and marrying a superstar jock. My words to Elizabeth, bitch, please sit your ass down. But now to the Occupy movement. As much as I do support the movement, I just got to say, please get a handle on your people. Please establish some leadership. In Oaktown and in DC, you've been infiltrated. Oaktown by a crew of punks calling themselves the Black Bloc, who try to use this movement as an excuse to commit vandalism. And in DC by teabaggers, most notoriously GOP so-called journalist Jimmy O'Keefe. O'Keefe, you're a punk and you're doing honest journalists a disservice. Get out the game, son, you're not ready. Most importantly, what happened today in Manchester, New Hampshire when the president came by and spreaded his initiative, and occupiers interrupted him. True, it was 3 years ago when they elected him into office, and they feel like he turned their backs on them. It's understandable. But given what the GOP has to offer, it would be in the best interest of those in this movement to try to keep this man in office and constantly remind him why he was elected. I'd rather keep the man that's in office now than to let anyone from the GOP get back in and mess it up, or at least take it back worse than what we experienced 8 years under the second Bush administration. We cannot afford to go back to that. I can't stay down here anymore. We got to make things happen. Do not fuck up the movement. We got the president to pay attention. And he tried to connect this movement with the denial of student loans, particularly when it was the basis of the protest out at UC Davis this past weekend, and the atrocities those protesters experienced by being pepper sprayed. And I still can't get the image of that cop spraying them as if they were nothing more than insects, like he was putting out pesticides. The campus security who did this need to be fired, as should the campus police chief, and the chancellor who condoned this needs to resign. They are human beings. I'm a returning student myself, because the job market down here is so slim. It's coming back now. But nearly 3 years I've been unemployed. Education is the way I need to go. In between holding down a gig to get back on my feet. What happened out at UC Davis was an atrocity. And here's hoping those protesters get justice. And to the Occupy movement, once again, stand strong. But you need to solidify your ranks. You need to have a spokesperson come out. You need to establish leadership. And you need to seal in your cracks and not let infiltrators come in and take this in a direction it doesn't need to go. Do not give the GOP an excuse to dismiss this movement as nothing as an excuse for hippies, stoners, and bums to gripe and whine and complain. Don't give them the satisfaction. And most of all, stop disrespecting this president. I know you're disappointed in him, but to an extent, I'd rather have him in office than to let someone from the GOP come and take us back to the 19th century. I said that so many times before, and I hope it will sink in. Particularly down south, when these so-called voter registration laws are being passed. This is nothing more than a glorified version of Jim Crow. Now more than ever, we need to fight to keep Obama in office. We need to take our country back. And those in the GOP wants to take it back to the 19th century. We've got to keep going, no matter what.